Hey there, it's Cosmo the Coder, and welcome to another one of my Humble Bundle review videos. Now, this might actually be a fairly quick and straightforward review video in certain ways. It also might be completely misleading because I'm not actually going to be able to review any of them whatsoever. The first one is, as you can see behind me, I haven't actually done an image this time around for obvious reasons. The first one is the Humble Cryengine bundle, and essentially what you're getting for this bundle is a huge amount of assets. I think it's like 20,000 assets for the Cryengine for you to utilize in anything you want to. So you can put them into a game and sell the game. You can just use it to play around with, do whatever you want with. I can't actually tell you whether it's a good value for money kind of thing, like I usually do. I could run through what you get, but beyond me saying you get a load of people and models and vehicles and trees and so on, that's as much as I would be able to say. It's extremely specialized in terms of bundle usefulness. So beyond that, I can't really say whether it's good or bad or anything. I imagine it's quite good, but that's just my general feeling, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, if you use Cryengine and you want a load of assets, go buy it. That's as much as I can say. I mean, beyond that, what can I do? It is what it is. Now, the other bundle that they've done is, well, here's my issue. It's basically you pay what you want for about 9 different early builds of games. Actually, that doesn't make any grammatical sense. Early builds of 9 games that are currently only, as far as I can tell anyway, on the Humble store. Now, and here's my problem. Now, usually when I give a review, it's based off of several different pieces of information. I don't just go on like the trailer and the blurb, for instance. I don't just recap what's here in this sort of video and what the blurbs say. I go to Steam, I look at the reviews, I look at the forums, I look online, Metacritic, I look at Wikipedia sometimes, just to sort of get a general consensus of what the game's about, how well the game's been received, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. And in this situation, all the games are still early builds, and although they are available on the Humble store, you aren't getting them from the Humble store. You're getting the early builds, and that's probably something quite important for you guys to be aware of, that you're only getting the early builds. You buying this bundle does not instantaneously give you all the games, so it's not like Steam early access. You're literally only getting these versions of the games. It does give you coupons for each one, but again, to sort of say whether it's worthwhile money-wise, any money off something is good, providing that thing that you want is good. So beyond me sort of reading the blurb, looking at the trailer and saying whether it's any good or not, I can't, my review, my opinion would be based solely on that, and that doesn't really sound to me like a good review, because to sort of tell you that it looks good in the trailer, well, of course it looks good in the trailer, because the trailer's been made to make it look good. It's like a film trailer. A film trailer is only going to tell you the good reviews, how many stars, if it gets 4 stars out of 5 from certain reviewers, then it's going to tell you those reviewers gave it 4 stars out of 5. It's not going to tell you all the ones that gave it 1 star out of 5. So overall, all I can sort of say is, if you guys check out the bundle yourself, look at the trailer videos, look at the blurb, and try and make up your own mind about it. I know it's a bit of a cop-out. I was going to sort of go through each one and give a sort of opinion on what each one looks like and how interesting it might be, but overall, all I'd be doing is exactly what's in the blurb. I'd be reading the blurb to you. And unless you're partially sighted and can't read it yourself, and just want some guy to read it for you, then that's not going to be useful to you. It's not going to give you an informed opinion of whether or not it's worthwhile buying. Now, if you want my opinion on them, then overall, some of them look pretty cool in the trailers, and some of them sort of make me think that might be nice to play. But overall, because they're not the full games, I'm not enticed to buy them at all. That's just me, and that's my opinion. That's me saying what I think. And I've just said that 3 different ways, the same. Never mind. The point is that I want to do more. Really, I do. I want to say, get this. It's good. It's good value for money and everything. And I can't do it. There's no monetary value attached to these early builds. And the coupons may or may not be worth it, but only if you're interested in the games in the first place. So overall, I'm kind of stuck. I want to give you something, but beyond my opinion of what I think the videos look, I can't really do it. The only way I could give you anything really meaningful would be to buy the bundle myself and play the games. But this bundle's only available for less than 4 days now. And with the amount of time I've got to play games, it just wouldn't be doable. I'd literally play each one for 10 minutes, and that wouldn't be enough to give you an informed review of whether or not the games were worthwhile buying, or even if this bundle was worthwhile buying. So overall, I can't really give you much more than that. So I'm sorry to say that that's as far as I can go in terms of this review video for these 2 bundles. It's something that's completely impossible for me to give you an honest review about, because I just can't do it, because I don't know enough about it in terms of the Cryengine stuff, and B, because in order to actually give you what I would like to give you, it would just take too long, and by the time I gave you the review, the bundle would be finished and you wouldn't be able to get it in the first place. Now, obviously, if you guys are into any of these games, then even if it's just $1, then it's worthwhile looking into, just to sort of give it a try. Gone are the days when you used to be able to get game demos. It's all early access stuff now and everything, which I understand why that's happened. It's a bit sad that that's happened, but that's the way it is, really. So overall, is do what you want. Sad as it is, that's what I'm going to say. Now, the one thing I can do, which is I suppose an important thing for me to sort of say, is I can actually say to you guys what has happened with the jumbo bundle, what kind of has been extended in terms of that. So as always, it's a week on since the bundle, and they've added to it. Now, there are 3 new games in there, and they are Holy Potatoes, a weapons shop, Transocean, the shipping company, and Shadowrun Returns. Now, Shadowrun Returns is obviously another game in the Shadowrun series. Which is an isometric turn-based RPG. This one's got some good reviews as opposed to I think it was that one, the Boston Lockdown. My memory's a bit sparse on what I said last week, but again, the Shadowrun games seem to be generally well received. It's worth £10.99 at the moment on Steam, so it's definitely worth, again, for it's now $7.19 at this time, so worth a go, absolutely, if you like that kind of thing. Holy Potatoes, a weapons shop, and Transocean, the shipping company, are management games. The first one, the Holy Potatoes, is basically where you build and sell different weapons. You basically set at the shop, you get different sort of, I think, weaponsmiths, and create a wide array of weaponry for different customers. Basically, it's kind of in the same sort of element as sort of game Tycoon or Game Dev Tycoon or something like that, something along those lines. I forget its name now, but that's literally what it is. So it's quite quirky in its animation style because you're selling it to potato people, which is always an interesting. Holy Potatoes is $10.99, so probably worth a punt. Why not? Transocean is a bit more serious in terms of management games. You actually control a shipping company and you try and build an empire of merchant ships. The reviews for it are a bit mixed, because it seems that the company's actually focusing on Transocean 2 rather than fixing Transocean 1, as apparently there's some bugs in it and everything else like that. But beyond that, the game is generally well received. A lot of people are quite happy about it, quite good. There's quite good praise about it. Overall, the three games don't really expand the bundle that much in terms of amazing games, but at the end of the day, a free game or a cheap game is always nice, especially if you went for the blue tier. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much everything I have to say about these bundles. I'm sorry once again that it's a bit convoluted and a bit sort of limited in what I can and can't say. I hope next time there is more for me to say. The one thing I will point out is, if you didn't already notice, there was no weekly bundle this week. And in fact, it's actually been completely taken off the website. The Humble blog officially stated that they're no longer planning to do weekly bundles. They're instead going to do what they've been doing, which is running two bundles side by side, two fortnightly bundles side by side. Now, of course, this is like a different kettle of fish in the sense that there's a third bundle, but it's only a 4-day bundle. So they have said they will do the odd weekly bundle here and there, but they're not planning on doing anything specific in that kind of constant weekly bundle, which I think is quite a good thing, because a lot of the weekly bundles were quite, oddly enough, weak. It was definitely more a quirky sort of bundle, and some were good, some were bad, some were mediocre. Overall, I think hopefully if they keep the quality up of the fortnightly bundles, it will be worth it in the long run. But whether or not that's the case this week, I don't really agree, because both the new bundles don't really appeal to me in any regard, because they're either extremely specialized or they're just a bit odd. Oh dear. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. As always, like, dislike, subscribe, comment on this video, and let me know what you think. I always take feedback on board. I always pay attention to people's feedback, as long as it's constructive. Sometimes it isn't. And hopefully next week I'll have more to talk about other than me saying, I don't know. Thanks once again, guys. Until next week.